The third part is the role of the internal complaint committee. The Act prescribes that the internal complaint committee should have the minimum quorum of 3 and it should be presided by a woman. Both the respondent and the victim has to take care of it at all point of time. The onus has been put upon the internal complaint committee to conduct the proceedings purely under the provisions of the Act and they cannot deviate from it. They have to take care of the victim's interest at the first. If it is a office where the victim feels uncomfortable to come, the onus is upon the internal complaint committee to request to the employer to exempt the victim from coming to the office for the period of 3 months, which is the maximum period under which the inquiry has to be concluded, that is 90 days. Or to make such arrangement as to such extent that the respondent is restrained from entering the office or he is transferred elsewhere if the establishment has any other office. The proceedings of under this Sexual Harassment Act is purely confidential in nature. There cannot be any media reporting of it. And in case any member of the internal committee is found to be in violation of such rules or the provisions of the Act, the victim or the respondent may approach the local authority or the appropriate government for the change of the members of the internal committee. Since the proceedings are purely summary in nature, it is incumbent upon the internal committee to conclude the hearing within the time period prescribed. I'll now draw your attention to the section 13 of the Act, which says that the inquiry report, once the inquiry is over, the inquiry report under this Act, the internal committee or the local committee, as the case may be, shall provide a report of its finding to the employer, as the case may be. The district officer, within a period of 10 days from the date of completion of inquiry, and such report be made available to the concerned parties. So, once the inquiry is over, it is incumbent upon the internal committee to send its finding to the employer or to the other authorities as has been prescribed under the Act within the period of 10 days. And such report has to be given to both the parties concerned. It is the duty of the internal committee to give a fair finding, and its findings should be biased. Under the rules also, the internal committee, if it arrives at a conclusion that the complaint which has been made is false or malicious or is based on a false evidence, in such cases, the allegation against the respondent, where it is found to be malicious, the internal complaint committee may recommend for an appropriate action against the victim or the complainant. And in cases where there are service rules which exist, the proceedings has to be recommended against the complainant under the rules which are applicable to the respondent and the victim. The internal complaint committee has to also determine the compensation under section 15 of the Act, which says for the purpose of determining the sums to be paid to the aggrieved woman under clause 2 of subsection 3 of section 13, the internal committee or the local committee, as the case may be, shall have regard to the mental trauma, pain, suffering, emotional distress caused to the aggrieved woman, the loss in career opportunity due to the incident of sexual harassment, medical expenses incurred by the victim of a physically or mentally challenged victim, the income and the financial status of the respondent, feasibility of such payment in lump sum or in installment. I may add here that the internal complaint committee during the proceedings of inquiry also can pass an interim orders to make such arrangements or financial assistance in favor of the victim so that she can attend the hearing. That can be expenses of conveyance or any other kind of financial assistance. For example, if there is a loss of income by not attending the office, then the employer may be directed to compensate the same, and that can be recovered from the respondent on the later stage. As I have already discussed, there will be a prohibition of publication or making known the contents of the complaint or inquiry proceedings under section 16. And if there is a violation of any such prohibition, then the penalty has been prescribed under this section 17, which says where any person interested with the duty to handle and deal with the complaint, inquiry, or any recommendation or action to be taken under provision of this act contravenes with the provision of section 17, he shall be liable for a penalty in accordance with the provisions of service rules applicable to the said persons, or where no such service rules exist, in such manners as may be prescribed. So the act is a very balanced act which has tried to put a maximum onus on the internal committee to make sure that the proceedings are not only fair, but the sanctity of it is maintained at all the times.
This video has been co-powered by Nolens.